Hey everybody, so I'm coming to you from camp. It's dark, the lights are on. My light is on from my solar power, but so hopefully you can see me okay. I don't have a ton of experience to report, although I do have airplanes right now, as you can probably hear, and cars, because every time I seem to try to film a video, it's like an airplane decides to show up or a car drives by trying to fight me. So I'm gonna make this video work. I don't care. It's crazy. I'm talking like I tried to film this video once. I spoke for 10 minutes and the distractions were completely off the charts. And I hung up and it got quiet again, and then I turned it back on, and literally as I turned it back on, planes, cars. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was there's this concept of land guardians, energies of the land who protect it. Look, kind of like depends on the realm they're in, like if they're a fairy realm, if they're angel realm, that sort of thing. They can be like, I've heard them called different things. I've heard them called guardians. I've heard some called watchers. In Flagstaff, there's a family of people would call them like deer gods or elk gods, essentially, and they're the ones called the maiden. There's a maiden of the land, there's a matron of the land, and there's a the patriarch of the land type of thing. So it depends on where you're at, what they call themselves, and what realm they're from, vibration, dimension, that sort of thing. But I did wake up last night, and I could see out my tent. I keep my, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but the screens on the window open. And there was a big deer-like god type being looking in the tent. Now, he's not a god energy. Most gods aren't. I mean, that's a word we use type of thing. These are just beings of other realms. He was looking in, very swampy looking, like stuff hanging off of his horns, and his nose, his snout, plant, green stuff all over. Just looking in and walking around. And I didn't know what he was doing. I just did my thing, rolled over, and was like, I'm going back to sleep, type of thing. Which is what I normally do because so much stuff shows up. And I woke up probably a half hour later, and he was actually in my tent, sitting in the chair when I woke up. And he was just like there, just kind of, looking around, just chilling, nothing going on. And I don't remember saying anything to him. I remember hearing something like waiting for you, or like he said something to me, and I just rolled back over and went to sleep. So when I woke up, hopefully you can hear with these planes going over. When I woke up, I asked my guides what it was, and they said it was the keeper of the land, the protector of the land, that sort of thing. So that was pretty cool. And it's been interesting. I'm in Orlando. Outside of Orlando, there's a park that it's a really nice park. The planes throughout the day aren't really an issue. There's just these periods of time that, like, there's 10 of them are up there, and then you don't notice them for 3 hours, and then you notice them again. And it seems to be when I hit record on this phone. I had that problem filming my 30 Days of Galactics videos. I ran into that. I was filming them, and I had to stop because I kept getting interrupted so many times by the planes, and I just was like, ah. And then this morning I was able to crank out like 5 or 6 more before it got really bad. And so what else has been going on? Doug is not happy. I'm very clear about that. Doug is not happy. For those of you who don't know, Doug is the juniper gnome who lives with me, who travels with me, who came with me from New Mexico. He is from the desert. He is from dry, sandy desert. He loved the beaches. He loved Key West beaches. He loved the beaches in Miami. He loved the beaches. The humidity is too much. Now, for me, it's too much too, breathing, but he was talking about the humidity before I realized that the humidity was the problem, was why I was so tired recently. It took me days to realize, like, why am I so tired? I just feel like not moving, and I'm having trouble breathing, and like 3 days later I'm like, oh, it's the humidity. But Doug, on the other hand, has continued to say, from the time we left the Keys and started driving north, he was unhappy before we got to the Keys, and then we were on the beaches and stuff, and he was pretty good. And then we went up north again, and he started getting kind of really salty. And it's because there's too much water in the air, and there's too much water on the land, and so nothing is dry, and he just wants his dry land. So it's pretty funny. Every once in a while I'll see him like walking around just sulking. And unfortunately his cactus isn't doing that well either because of the humidity, so, and the heat in the car. But we're gonna fix that as we go north. And so it's just an interesting side note about Doug the Juniper Gnome. Those of you who don't know the story, you can find it on my website about him stowing away and coming home with me. And we have others that I haven't actually seen them around. They're around. Sally and Sam are somewhere. I don't know. They go off and do their own thing, and they just kind of know to be back in the car when they're ready. And then Caroline and her family are like, their home is now nestled in the back, one of the back panels of the car. And she's a mouse spirit I met in New Mexico. And Sally and Sam are part of Doug's troop of gnomes. They showed up, and they came with us in December. Might have been December trip. Might have been the trip before that. I don't remember which one, but we went to New Mexico, back to where they're from, and they hitched a ride back too. And we're, never alone type of thing. What else has happened recently? I had sandbill or sandwing, something like that, storks walk up to me in camp. That was pretty cool. There's storks that are or cranes, sandmill cranes, something like that, cranes that they have these red heads, real thin, lanky things, probably 4 foot tall. They're big. Just plugging my solar panel in and turn around, and there's these 4 storks, a mama, a papa, and 2 babies, just staring like 2 feet away from me, looking at me like, hey, what are you doing here? So that was pretty cool. And then I saw what are they called? The jellyfish, the Portuguese man o' war. I saw a Portuguese man o' war, not in the ocean. I've always wanted to see one floating in the ocean, not while I'm in the water, but I saw one wash up on shore, and that was where I found the octopus shell, which is somewhere in my stuff. I don't have it. If you're not familiar yet, on Instagram I have posted pictures of the octopus shell. Yes, an octopus shell. There is an octopus called a paper nautilus that creates a shell as an egg sac, and it is a very delicate thing. Like, I can't even believe it made it up to the shore. The ocean gifted it to me. It was I found a crab shell first, and then they gave me another gift, and when they gave that to me, they were like, you need to go. They wanted me to go like 3 miles down the beach, and I didn't want to. And they were like, here's a gift. And I heard the words octopus and nautilus, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. An octopus doesn't have shells, and this isn't a nautilus shell that I know of. And so I listened to them, and I followed the beach, and it was a lot of light work. But then I got back and realized, it was the ocean gave me an octopus shell, which is like something you don't hear of, something that's crazy, unknown. So that was really cool. But I'm almost at the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to say just thank you, everybody, for watching. If you want to support the journey, awakenwithwillow.com, and I love you all.